A man once climbed the ladder of success, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. That is the trap of modern ambition. We chase goals, build resumes, check off boxes. But deep down, many of us still feel disorganized, unclear, exhausted. Stephen R. Covey saw this, and instead of urging us to hustle harder, he offered something deeper, a roadmap. A framework not for doing more, but for becoming more centered, more intentional, more alive. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People isn't just a self-help book. It's a self-leadership manifesto. Because real success, the kind that feels aligned and meaningful, starts from the inside out, and that's exactly what we bring to life here. Welcome to Fraser Audiobooks Club, where we don't just read books, we experience them. Through cinematic storytelling and life-changing insights. If you're passionate about personal growth, mindset, and purpose-driven living, hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend. Because each week we bring you another book that just might change everything. Now let's dive into Habit 1. Habit 1, be proactive. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, running late, the pressure mounting. Someone cuts you off and, in a flash, you explode. Sound familiar? That moment is the difference between a reactive life and a proactive one. Reactive people blame circumstances. They say, I had no choice. They're at the mercy of moods, the weather, and the behavior of others. But proactive people, they pause, they choose, they ask, what's in my control right now? Let me share a powerful story. Viktor Frankl, a man imprisoned in a Nazi concentration camp, lost everything. His home, his freedom, his family. Yet he held on to one thing, his power to choose how he responded. Even in the worst conditions imaginable, he chose meaning. That, Covey says, is the essence of being proactive. It doesn't mean being aggressive. It means taking full ownership of your attitude, your actions, and your space in the world. Proactive people focus on their circle of influence, rather than the chaos around them. They act on values, not feelings. So the next time you're tempted to react, pause. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do right now that reflects who I truly am? Because Habit 1 is the foundation of personal freedom. Until you believe you are the creator of your life, you'll always feel like a victim of it. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Let's flip your idea of success. Close your eyes. Imagine your own funeral. The room is quiet. Friends, family, and colleagues gather. One by one, they step up to speak about the life you lived. What would you want them to say? She was kind. He inspired others. She chased her dreams with fire. He made people feel seen and safe. Covey urges us to start here, because the most effective people don't just chase goals, they live by a clear vision. They define success from the inside out, and then build their days backward from that. Take Sarah, a high-performing executive who always felt unfulfilled. Her coach asked, "What does success look like at the end of your life?" Her answer had nothing to do with promotions or titles. It was about being present, raising kind children, and living with grace. Covey reminds us that all things are created twice, first in the mind, then in reality. The blueprint comes before the building. So what's your blueprint? What kind of parent, leader, friend, or human do you want to be? Write it down. Build your personal mission statement. Let it guide your decisions, your yeses and your nos. Because if you don't define success for yourself, someone else will. And you might just end up at the top of a ladder you never wanted to climb. At 3, put first things first. This is where your vision becomes action. It's not just about getting things done. It's about getting the right things done. Covey shares a simple metaphor. Imagine a glass jar, a pile of big rocks, some gravel and sand. If you fill the jar with sand first, then gravel, the big rocks won't fit. But if you start with the big rocks, then add the gravel, then the dream, and we'll see everything fits. Habit 3 is about knowing what your big rocks are and making space for them first. Like Raj, who was drowning in meetings, emails, and never-ending obligations. He said yes to everything and had no time for what mattered most. But once he learned Covey's time matrix, everything changed. He stopped living in constant urgency and began focusing on long-term priorities, planning, self-care, meaningful relationships. He began to schedule his values, not just his tasks. And for the first time in years, he felt aligned. Covey said it best. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So ask yourself, what are your big rocks this week? Are they in your calendar or just floating in your head? Habit 4. Think win-win. Habit 4 changes how we approach relationships. Real success doesn't require someone else to lose. Covey tells the story of two sisters fighting over an orange. Both insisted they needed the whole fruit. Eventually, one gave in. Later, they realized they needed different parts. One wanted the peel for baking, the other the pulp to eat. They both could have had what they needed, if they'd just asked. Most people live with a scarcity mindset, the belief that there's only so much success to go around. But Habit 4 teaches us the abundance of mindset. It says, I don't have to win at your expense. We can both win. Consider Aisha, a team lead caught in a resource war with another department. Instead of fighting, she invited her counterpart for coffee. She asked, what would a win look like for you? Together, they crafted a joint plan that saved both teams time and money. Covey reminds us win-win is not a technique. It's a total philosophy of human interaction. So next time you face conflict, ask, what does winning look like for each of us? Can we create something great together? Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is the heart of communication. Not clever arguments or quick rebuttals, but true listening. Most of us don't understand. We listen to the reply. We're not listening. We're reloading. Covey tells of a father trying to talk to his teenage daughter. She slammed the door, shouting, "You never listen." And he realized she was right. He always responded, but he never truly heard her. Habit 5 challenges us to diagnose before we prescribe. Like Arjun, a manager who assumed his team was lazy. He pushed harder, held more meetings, but nothing changed until he stopped and listened. One team member was caring for a sick parent. Another was quietly burning out. Real leadership began when Arjun heard what was unsaid. Empathic listening doesn't mean you have to agree. It means you understand I'm emotionally, intellectually, and humanely. So next time someone talks, resist the urge to interrupt or fix. Just listen. Because when people feel seen, they open up. And only then are they ready to hear you. Habit 6. Synergy is more than cooperation. It's transformation. It's when diverse perspectives combine to create something neither could do alone. Imagine a piano. One key at a time makes noise, but together, music. Take a group, students at a science fair. A nerd, an artist, an athlete, and a quiet thinker. Their project, a solar irrigation system, wasn't just smart. It was a result of each person leaning into their unique strength. They didn't just tolerate their differences, they celebrated them, and they won. Covey says, synergy is celebrating differences, valuing them, and creating something new from that energy. So next time you're in a group, don't aim to dominate. Ask, how can we combine our strengths? Because when we synergize, we don't just work better. We dream bolder, build stronger, and reach farther. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. Finally, we come to the habit that fuels all others, renewal. You are your most valuable tool, your body, your mind, your spirit. And if you don't maintain yourself, everything else eventually breaks. Covey tells of a man sawing down a tree for hours, exhausted, making no progress. A stranger asks, "Why not stop and sharpen your saw?" The man says, "I don't have time, I'm too busy cutting." But with each dull stroke, he becomes less effective. Sound familiar? Take Mira, a brilliant strategist who lost her spark. She thought she had a motivation problem, but really, she had a maintenance problem. She started small, journaling, walking, unplugging. Slowly, she came back to life. Covey reminds us, We must never be too busy driving to stop for gas. Sharpening the saw is not selfish, it's sacred. It's what allows you to keep going, with purpose, clarity, and joy. And there you have it. 7 timeless habits, 1 unforgettable roadmap. Not just for career success, but for a life of meaning, clarity, and deep impact. So which habit hit home for you? Which one are you ready to practice starting today? These aren't just lessons, they're choices, lifestyle shifts, small steps that can change your relationships, your confidence, and maybe even your legacy. If this audiobook gave you even a flicker of clarity, please like, share, and subscribe to Fraser Audiobooks Club. Every week we bring life-changing books to life, with emotional depth, cinematic narration, and practical wisdom. Want to go deeper? Check the description. We've linked the full book in English and Hindi. Read it, reflect on it, live it. Until next time. Be proactive. Begin with vision. Live with priorities. Think win-win. Listen with heart. Build with others. And protect your energy, because the world doesn't just need more hustle. It needs more people living intentionally.